who it is. It's grotesque inefficiency. The only thing that ever comes close to this is dysfunctional corporate America, who has bureaucracy that they chase their tail for years and they lose money, they go out of business. The government doesn't. They can keep being inefficient and they're still going to stay, quote unquote, in business because they're going to have their jobs.
And do you know what the problem is? The career people, and you know what I mean by this, because they can't be fired and they don't care, so they go at a snail's pace. I mean, and then dealing with Congress. I mean, and then everybody's got their agenda, like you said. And now, really, I think it's the yelling from home. I think people are home saying, you know what, you better get it right. Because people are upset.
It's, you know,
but we saw everybody move, you know, this last election, the voters were loud and clear about what they wanted. They wanted, you know, the budget to be dealt with. They wanted a balanced budget. They wanted to have lower taxes.
Still, where's the budget?
But people were swept into the office on a sea of change. Okay, and you know, to their credit, the Tea Party folks,
they're still there. They're still with their states.
They're holding, you know, true to their constituents. They seem to be, you know, hearing what their people who, you know, brought them into office are, you know, they're doing their bidding, let's say. But on the other hand, we heard, you know, that the establishment folks said, we heard the message loud and clear. We realized that we can't be doing business as usual anymore, and that we were going to see some real reform and change. But, you know, it didn't happen.
Well, to
that extent, amongst those circles.
The whole administration went in on this whole wave of change, and, you know, yes, we can. And that whole city is like, talk about a bottleneck. It's never, I don't think it's ever been, in any of our lives, I don't think it's ever been like it is. It's so polarized there. You can't get anything
I think part of it, I mean, let's say a lot of it has to do with the fact that where our economy is right now, and given the fact that other external factors are in play.
Well, that's what happens. And it's the same again. It's the same with metaphorical parallel as corporate America. When money's tight or when you're losing money, everything is scrutinized.
Right.
When times are great and everything's, you know, everybody has a lot of money and houses are worth, everything doesn't get so scrutinized. This train wreck has been coming for a long time. It was, all of us didn't pay attention because our houses were going up in value. We were, you know, had inflated stock, all sorts of things. So we didn't pay attention. This was such an, I mean, everyone knew this was coming.
Well, everyone, not everyone, but
I think everybody.
Well,
you can't spend more money on your credit card than you got.
If you're someone that pays attention to this sort of thing, then you would know it's coming. But a lot of people, you know,
I don't think so. I think folks in like Indiana, where I'm from, you know, they're just trying to live their life and pay their bills and do their thing. And now they're thinking, whoa, wait a minute, if we get this downgrade, my mortgage is going to go up and my car payment is going to go up.
Well, they're already
and I'm going to struggle.
I think even in Indiana, they're already paying more for a price of gas,
well,
and their houses are already worth less.
I mean, consumer spending was lower than they expected. The report came out today, first time in quite some time.
And of course, manufacturing is just dismal. I mean, everything is just flat right now. It's very Jimmy Carter-esque, and but worse.
But I'm fascinated by the criticism that the president's getting from people in your own party. You know, people even like journalists who have been in his corner, like Maureen Dowd and other writers who
saying that he's Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, you know, that they were just in Jimmy Carter.
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know if you saw the New York Times piece today, but they're basically saying, like, hey guys, who else we got to run against this guy? Like Hillary, you going to run? Anybody else? Nobody talks about the race on the Democrat side. Anybody else?
Do you think that could happen? Possibly?
Obama's going to get reelected, and I'm going to vote for him, and I'm still going to.
Well, not reelected in the general. You're not saying he's going to get reelected.
No, I'm
saying
no, I am saying I don't think the Republicans have anybody. I think he's going to be a two-term president.
No way.
And,
no way.
Oh, I can't wait to do the show with you next year.
But I will tell you this.
I'm bringing this tape in.
All right, but I will tell you this. What he did get through, and he was laser focused on the political versus governing. That's my biggest problem with him. I think he's a great candidate. He's a terrible president.
I think but don't you think he's always been campaigning? Basically, his administration's about the campaign as opposed to the governing of this country.
You could just look at his body language. You can always tell the difference between when he's running and when he's campaigning. He is seriously good.
Yeah, I agree.
He's taking some breaks from running. He's taking a few breaks to try to run. When he looks awful,
when he looks terrible. And when he went,
you are mean. You people from Indiana.
The fact that they won't have to vote again, that they gave the president this, a pass, so that they won't have to vote on this death thing again until after the election.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. The one thing he wanted, you give him credit because as a candidate, you can tell that's where his head is, not governing, but being a candidate.
That's the one thing he wanted. That's a specific he put out there as part of his plan.
Says you give up everything. You give up the farm as long as you get me through 13. I think that's what happened. I think that's why Nancy Pelosi and others are like, oh, we gave up everything. Well, not everything. The one, you know, I want to say silver bullet perhaps, that I think a lot of folks, the Republicans thought, wow, if we have this issue right before the election, he's done for sure. But he got what he wanted, moved it past 13.
So the fact that he got that, does that mean that this thing is, they're talking about the special commission, they have timetables and all this sort of, I mean, is it going to have any real metal to it, any muscle?
Well, yeah, I mean, it just
means. Do you think it really will?
The commission? You think a commission or a czar or a committee?
I think that unless we go off to some fourth war, that we're not going to call a war, unless something like that happens, that this is the issue for the 2012 election.
Defense spending, so that'd be tough for us to do since we're cutting spending for the soldiers and our national defense is what the commander-in-chief is supposed to be doing.
You're going to get a dig in me no matter what I say.
It's not you.
You know what? I
You're being very agreeable, actually.
Yeah, I know. I hate coming here and being agreeable.
Interesting, and also on Fox News, we've been reporting that on FoxNews.com that Vice President Biden apparently in a private meeting he had with House Democrats called the Tea Party Republicans, terrorists.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
well, that's just terrorists doing that. And he's a lifer, so he knows that his quote-unquote private meetings of the government that was going to, the presidency or the White House was going to be on C-SPAN all the time, and now has more closed-door meetings than any White House I can recollect, says something so dumb like that.
I mean, it shows you the mentality of what's, even despite the fact that they made a deal, the fact
it was
that...
a big... what deal? F deal. Yeah. Because that's what he does. He says those types of things.